What's happening? Uh, was watching this video last night, man. This dude, man. His name's man. I can't even remember what this guy's name is, man. But he put out a video about psychological warfare and how they use this NLP, neuro linguistics programming. But I mean, it's not always just verbal. It's like it's weird environmental stimulators, like for instance, I've had times where I was speaking to people, and as soon as I ended my speech, a gunshot went off somewhere for some reason, more than once. You know what I'm saying? And there's a technique, it's called anchoring. It's where you have a negative something happen, and then somewhere there's a environmental stimulus, and then so you'll have these bad conversations with people, right? And then for some reason, like instead of hearing this is the fifth time the gunshot went off, they say the word gunshot, and instantly you go into that feeling of uncomfortableness that you felt previously from these other experiences, these random occurrences. Uh, uh, it's strange because that sounds so far fetched. Who has the money to do that? How in the heck can you get that many people operating or have that much control? I mean, it could be a few guys with a lot of pull, and it's a magic act. But they can pull it off. It's not that hard. I mean, they could go as far as to make a safe house, which is just look. They've done this in Flint. I've known people who done committed too much crime. They ain't trying to for life, so the Fang actually buys them a crib. You know what I'm saying, and lets them stay there. But they just gotta stir the pot. You know what I'm saying, or just sit there and I also seen it on Democracy Now. How that these people did they did an expose on how that the FBI straight up paid this guy to just keep suggesting him into trying to commit some kind of crime. The dude was an Islamicist, but see, that's the big trick about what people think. That American government has pulled off. If you meet the Americanized foreigners, I was gonna say Muslim, but they ain't got to be Muslim. The foreigners, they're just like everyone else. They're more like European royalty types in the higher echelon bloodlines of Europe than they are these woo 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 dudes with fucking tribal looking shit on. You know what I'm saying? They're really not. They're cutthroats. They're like businessmen. The higher of them are like corporatists. So I mean, it's a big trick that you're thinking that these guys are out there eating baby necks and just all wild and disorderly. No, they're a little old fashioned. That's it. They're dancing and singing and hanging with their families. Just they grew up in war, so they got to have guns around all the time. And then people are always, that's one of their attributes is being Ishmael, is that his hand shall be at every of his brethren's tribe. Like every tribe will be fighting every tribe all the time. So even his own closer family, he's fighting with them. He's fighting with the far off family. He's just fighting with everyone. That's in his nature. It just was what they say. But there's that anchoring. Now chaining is when, like, all right, before it was gunshots. You know what I'm saying? Gunshot was the association factor. Now they'll have the gang stalkers move in a safe house that beams you with some radiation, and then they slam a car door. And like these people behind me, I've heard them slam the car door over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Here's another one: loud trucks. They use loud hillbilly trucks with no mufflers that go bah! And they'll drive around your block over and 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 all the time. And you don't know why. You can't even understand what their code is, but it's crazy. But it is that stupid that they will just slam a door, slam a door, slam a door, slam a door, honk a horn, honk a horn, honk a horn. Or then here's one that they love to do to me is fly a single-celled air or a single-engine airplane straight over my head 3 times in one day. Like, I'll go to this house, I'll be chilling there like, yeah, drinking a beer, man, whatever. Chilling with people, catching up. And then we'll get to another house, and I'll be outside going like this, like, look, like scanning the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, from the porch. And then I'll hear, and I'll look up, and a little single engine plane will fly directly overhead. You know what I'm saying? Directly overhead. That is another, I think, gang stalker technique where they're using environmental stimulus to anchor, then chain. Like, now you're associating 2 different things with that same state of fear that you get from gunshots. Like, whether now it was gunshots at first, now it's gunshots, just the word gunshots. Now that you're seeing this thing in the sky, you're associating it with that same fear or weirdness, unconfident mindset that they can bring about. They can onset it through trigger words and commands. Because what you got to do is you take all that fear from all these different ops, the long-term psychological weakening. Then they, like a magician, they send a handler in, and he somehow ties it in together into a new, like, glue for the moment. And then they leave you alone for a while. And then they won't bring no operatives directly at you, but they'll just, look, they'll have a guy, he'll set up, and he'll be like this with the knocks, with the camera on him. And then they'll have one of their operatives drive by you, like, while you're walking. And then they'll honk the horn, you know what I'm saying, and then drive off real fast. And you're thinking, what the fuck? Why would someone do that? And this other guy sitting back from another location with the camera. Then you got the cameras, actually. Then you got the satellites, the EIEIOs. And then you got some guys in a black room with like 100 screens. And they all got their, they're all like watching and like taking notes. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is the type of shit going on. I mean, it's basically gang stalking, cause stalking, terrorist stalking. I mean, corporations do it, but the government does it for other reasons. COINTELPRO did it. They learned all the stuff from the KKK. Like I said, a good way to explain it is if you're in a neighborhood and you're the only Democrat and the only black Democrat in the neighborhood of all white Republicans, where they're really Republican, like it's a religion to be that Republican. They at night will have they'll have one car drive by every 10 minutes, go honk honk honk, as they go right by your house, and then you'll be like, what the heck, honk 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 honk. Then this time they don't come. 20 minutes later, honk 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 honk. Like, listen, I'm not saying one horn going honk, even though they can do that too. But if they do it in repetition, the same thing, bang the door, bang the door, bang the door, bang the door while honking the horn. I mean, they do just shit like that. Like, it's strange. I've never been on the inside of this, but seeing the potential through, seeing these things, and I'm like, yeah, man, I've seen that actually. When they thought I was the Flint Town Stabber, that's when this all started. When I started getting messed with by people, and these videos I see people talking about gang stalking, they look crazy. They look like they're insane, but no, they're not. It's just they've been overwhelmed, dazzled, and tricked and misdirected through magicianry, which is called scientific mind control. And they're just their emotions are all messed up right now. Their mind states all messed up, because what they're trying to do is splinter your mind and trigger you into the more fearful, the guy that gets afraid and freezes, or the guy that gets angry and does something stupid that they can sit back and point at. Look how crazy you are. You know what I'm saying? They'll have you on camera going crazy, but they won't show you all the operations where they were messing with you. Because that is their job, is to severely alter and drastically manipulate your emotional / state of mind. Emotional and your state of mind. And through that, they know they can provoke a response, an action. reaction. And then they can even use that trigger. They can trigger the reaction, then implant something else in after the reaction that they can use to their benefit. Like you'll be out in public and in a public doing speeching, and they will not. They don't want you to really get your message out, so they'll wait, and then someone will pop a bag, and it sounds like a gunshot. You know what I'm saying? And then you'll have a trigger where you freeze, and then everyone's looking at you, and then you'll be like, "Wait, what just happened?" And then you'll feel all weird. You know what I'm saying? And you'll look stupid, and that's all they really need to do. This is the main component of this, is that, because really what they want to do is they want to see if they can get you to commit suicide. Because when they don't like political dissonance, there's documents where it says the government will use these nudge operations to make them commit suicide. I mean, that's really where this ends, is they want your life to crumble. It's like, we'll kill your social life by messing with you into killing your own social life. And then you'll kill yourself, and we'll suggest things to you, and we'll even make it happen. And then we'll sit back and watch it through our hidden camera apparatuses. There's SpyNet apparatuses. Their EIEIO network, Haterade, Dumpbox, Black Box, NSA that Snowden was speaking of. So if they do all that things Snowden was speaking on, these things that I'm speaking on should not sound that crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's Freedom Fighter 2127, I think the dude's name is. I mean, just Freedom Fighter 2127. And he drops a lot of good info. This guy's a G. I mean that in a good way. I don't mean that like it. Dr. Dre the Chronic. I mean like anyone who's a G. It just means they're good attitude, pretty tough. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just good information, consistent. So hey, I've been hearing this guy for a while, and he sounds like he got targeted too. I listened to one of his videos. He's talking about his computer's always going down. Yeah, you're getting targeted. I just heard it on Hawk last night. That Hawk's like, you don't know how many computers that'd be going down. That's because I'm telling you the truth. I believe it. A lot of what Hawk says is on the real. I mean, I know he doesn't come straight out and say things sometimes. But listen, if you hear what he's saying, he's keeping it real. Not one of us out here got all the pieces of the puzzle right all the time, man. It is so difficult. The PSYOP